So here is our GeoGebra solution to example 1. This purple region represents all the possible solutions to the problem, and we have found that the intersection points were A, E, D, and O, and tested our objective function for those 4 points. We found the maximum was 5 at E, and now we want to do a little bit more exploring with that objective function. The first thing we need to know is what are possible values. Well, we have some possible values here. Our minimum is 0, and for sure it can't go below 0 because it's a real problem. We see our maximum is 5, but let's go a little bit above that. We'll say 10. And we see that our numbers have 1 decimal point, so we're going to let our increment be 0.1. So we go to our slider tool, and we click somewhere in the drawing pad, and we're going to call it volume. The reason I don't call it V is because sometimes it will be like C for calories or something like that, and you might already have a point for that. So you might as well call it the whole name. We set minimum of 0, maximum of 10. That increment is good, 0, 1. And I always make my sliders a little bit longer, 200. And click on apply so that I have a little bit more control over the values. Now that's the value of the objective function. Now we need the line for the objective function. So we click down here in the input bar and type in our objective function. So it's 0.4 times x plus 0.6 times y equals, and then we want it to be this value here of the slider, so we type in the slider name, volume, and we hit enter. So this line represents all the points in the whole world that give this volume by the objective function. We are only interested in points in the purple shaded region. So let's make a point on this line so we can see its values. So we go to new point, make the line glow, and click on it. So F is always a point on that line. Let's get it shows coordinates and not just F. So double click, go to properties, and on the basic tab we will tell it to show the value. The value is the coordinates. Let's test it, make sure that this is working. So as we move it, there it goes. And now if we want to, we will create a nice looking text that shows how this point gives that volume. So we go to text, insert text, we click, and now having done this 100 times, it's much better to go and copy the formula. So we're going to go to our text, and there's our formula already marked. So we hit Control C, come back, Control V. Now there's 2 things you need to check. Make sure all the double quotes are standard double quotes and not smart quotes from Word, okay? And then the second thing is we have to put in place of A our coefficients, which were 0, 4. In place of P, we need to put our point, which was F. In place of B, the coefficient 0, 6. In place of Y, we have F, and that is the name of our slider volume, so we are done, hopefully. And then we hit LaTeX formula. If you don't, you can just double click on it and come back and get LaTeX. So we're just going to leave it like that. We've forgotten. You can see that it's giving us junk, so we just double click on it, come back, hit LaTeX, and OK. And it looks exactly right. If we want to make it bigger, we right click, choose properties, come up here and make it, let's say 16. Let's make it 18. Okay, while we're in here, let's change this style of the line to be thicker. The style of the slider, where's the slider? It's a number. Sliders are numbers. And make it that thicker. And where's our point? It's F. We definitely don't like that color. We're going to make it purple. And we might as well make our text purple since it goes with that. So there we go. Now let's check the coordinates are dynamic. So right now 2.08 and 2.62 match the coordinates of F. Let's move F and the coordinates change. So everything is as it should be. Now with this slider and the line and the point on the line, we can check the value of the objective function for every point in the purple shaded region.